everybody, and welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Matthews, and I am excited to be here. I have been loving summer. I've been telling y'all that on the podcast, but I it's because there's so much inspiration that happens, and to be a marketer or a business owner that owns a marketing company, and just to be able to show up for our communities and our events, like I need to be inspired. And so I'm bringing y'all somebody who inspired me. I had coffee with her once and I was just like, oh, I need to know more about you. So, Allison, jump on here and introduce yourself to the group.
Thank you so much for that. Hey guys, I am Allison Smith and I have a business called Allison Olivia Social. And my heart and my passion is to help small businesses with their social media. I do a lot of social media consulting and strategy. And the heart behind it is I've known so many amazing people who've started a small business, had a dream, had a passion for something. And the way the world is, you need to market on social media, but small business owners don't sign up to be influencers. And so that's where I can come in and really support their vision and their business goals and help them to grow on social media.
So, tell everybody how you became passionate about social media.
um, oh, what a fun story. I'm trying to think how far back that goes. So I remember the OG days of social media. And when I say OG, I mean, I remember when Facebook was first starting, you had to have a college email to be a part of Facebook. And it took me like a year before I was old enough to do that. And I just thought, what a great concept of a way to connect people. The heart behind social media and like when Facebook first started and all of these other platforms, it was to connect people in a way that we had not been connected before. This is a really big world that we live in, whether, your state is big, your country is big, this world is big. And social media has given us a way to connect with people that we would have never connected with did we not have these avenues. And I just love the social part of it, that we get to meet people and connect with people in ways that we wouldn't in our day-to-day like in-person lives. And in-person stuff is still fantastic and I love it, but I also love the people that I've gotten to connect with online that I never would have met before. And also it's a great way to stay in contact with people who maybe you were physically close with at one point, but life change, you graduate, you get new jobs, you get married, you move off, but you can still stay connected with people. And that's the heart behind the original heart behind social media, was to connect people. And now that it's grown, that's still the heart behind it. It just, sometimes we lose track of that. But that is, I love connecting people. I love connecting people to brands and businesses. Like I love to recommend products and businesses to people who, like, I found a product on social media. I'm like, oh my goodness, my girlfriends would love this. And I connect them to it. It's all about those connections.
Yeah, and I think referrals are huge as far as business goes. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's an easy way to point to someone. So, but think about before, there's a referral, you got to, try to navigate calendars and schedules just to get them to have some type of product that they could see. And so it's just completely different now where we have videos and just a whole wealth of materials that we can go through in our own time and get to know a company. I am curious though, what is your favorite social media platform?
Oh, that's a really good question. There's so many these days that you can choose from. Instagram is my favorite. I loved Instagram when it came out, that it gave us more pictures and not as many words. On Facebook, there's a lot of words on Facebook, and so I'm a tried and true Instagram girl. I love that it has all of the different aspects. Like you can share just pictures, you can share videos, you can get on stories. I still love the fact that stories expire after 24 hours. Like it's very in the moment, real, like what you're doing on this day at this time, because life moves fast and the world is forever changing, and what we do day to day doesn't always look the same. So it's fun to post what I'm doing just today and to have, tomorrow it's going to be something different. And I love how Instagram has evolved over the years, and I still see my friends' content, but Instagram has become almost like a search engine for me. Like if I'm going to a new city, I love to travel. So if I'm going to a new city and we're looking for a restaurant, I'm going to look them up on Instagram before I do Google, because Google is great, but Instagram is going to give me not only what that restaurant is posting, but what other people have posted about them. So it's not only that social aspect of like seeing my friends and family, but I can learn stuff. I can research other businesses.
Yeah, I love Instagram. I love the hashtags, at the beginning where,
Mm-hmm.
so we're in industry, and if you use hashtag welding and you look at, there's this whole community of people who like absolutely are in love with their welds and like have very much pride about, this beautiful, it almost looks like a rainbow, weld that's happening. And so there's art around that. And there's pretty much art in every industry you can think of. But like you're saying about
Mm-hmm.
the restaurant, I do that. I want to see like what's the presentation? What are the people like? Are they having a good time? Does it look like super boring there? I'm not going, And so
Yep.
there's so much of just looking into a world. And so you have to invest in that. You have to invest in pictures and videos and connecting with people. And that is what the world is today. So if you think that you can't do that today, you're missing the boat. And we
Yep.
want that, right? We want to connect with people. And so I think, if we talk about it, and, I know we talked about this, Allison, the pandemic and going through that, there's so many things we learned about ourselves. And I'm just curious of how people have shifted. I know my own, I slowed down a lot. I was forced to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to do the podcast and I got to learn some new things and like understand how much a beautiful flower means to me, like those type of things. But how has that like shifted how people show up on social and like how it's used?
Yeah, the pandemic for sure changed social media. I mean, it changed everything. The world literally went topsy turvy, and we all really, had to rethink a lot of things in our life. So, kind of pre pandemic, social media marketing was really starting to be a big thing by, coming into 2020. So, thinking like 2018, 2019, the world, social media had been around for a while. Marketers realized, okay, this is where we needed to be. Businesses realized that's where they needed to be, and it was all about creating like this perfect aesthetic. Like specifically on Instagram, people were all about, I want to have an aesthetic grid, and every other picture, like it's going to be this color scheme, or like this one is black and white and this one is in color, or like they're all going to like make this like picture when you look at the grid. Like it's all about perfection. It was all about the aesthetic and curating like just this idea of perfection. And the whole world kind of did that, but it especially showed up on social media. Well, then the pandemic hit, and again, everything went topsy turvy. We all had to rethink things, and it was like, hey, do we really need to strive for this much perfection? Does my grid need to be that aesthetic? Get is that what is going to get me sales? No, it's not. That's what the world realized, that it wasn't about perfection and creating, this like almost like this perfect facade that wasn't really your business. It just, now, did it look pretty? Absolutely. But it was not converting sales. It was not bringing in customers. It was not growing your audience. So during the pandemic, when we all slowed down, it gave marketers and businesses a chance to rethink, okay, how am I going to reach people? Because one, a lot of businesses were closed during the pandemic, but they were still trying to pay bills. And depending on what industry you were in, like that looked different for everybody. So from a social media aspect, people had to they just had to rethink everything. And so now what we're seeing a lot of on social media is authenticity and realism, and not trying to have this like perfectly curated aesthetic. It's more showing the people behind the brands. I know that's something that you and I talked about. Like, people trust people. They don't want to just see these perfect little graphics and logos and stuff like that. There's a time and a place for that. But on social media, that social aspect is what has really come kind of out of the pandemic. People want to see people, people want to see authenticity, realism. They want to see the faces behind the brand that they can trust, and things like behind the scenes videos and what am I doing today, and like shouting out your local coffee shop. Like, that's real life stuff that people can relate to. And that's what people want. They want things that are real, things that apply to them.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I mean, I have been that person that was envious of the perfect Instagram
Mm-hmm.
grid. But knowing like that will never be me, right? Like
Yep.
like if I put that out there, people will be like, yeah, that's not Charlie. I remember taking a picture, like in front of my desk, and my desk was like so clean. You know, it was just like
Mm-hmm.
it's everything is pretty and beautiful, and this is a great photo. You know, this is the perfect Instagram photo. And one of my clients is like, I know your desk is not that clean, and I'm like, no, it's not, and it's already not, right? Like it is
Uh-huh.
like constant like chaos here, right? And just like, what's
Mm-hmm.
the next thing I need to do? And it's just everywhere. And so there is a funness in that. I am a little messy, but I understand branding and that you do have to set that tone and that brand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've really enjoyed that with my personal brand. You know, I've got the red jacket at trade shows. People recognize that with the Charlie
Mm-hmm.
brand. But you know, I can't always wear red, you know, but
Right.
I absolutely love, you know, when I don't have it and somebody says, I keep missing you because you don't have your red jacket on. And I'm like, all right, well, they know, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that that's part of building the brand, and
Mm-hmm.
what is needed. We definitely need to do that. But to your point, you got to be real. I mean, it has to be genuinely what you are, you know, what your business is and what you're like and who, otherwise you're going to get exhausted. I mean, if I had to
Right.
create the perfect image every single day, then I mean, I'd be too tired to show up for working, right? Like, because
Yeah.
it would be tough. So, um, I say that, and I do, you know, I put on my professional look and I feel
Mm-hmm.
so much better when I do, when I have the perfect post that goes out and it generates engagements and all. You're just so proud of that. So there is a piece to marketing that that's important. But
Mm-hmm.
like you said, authenticity. So what does it look like? What is the future of this media, social media marketing? What does this look like? Give us some insight, Allison.
Um, my take on it, the future with social media is not going anywhere. I know there's some people, very small number, who still don't have social media, still don't really see the need in it. And if you personally decide not to use it, then that's totally fine. That is
They
your
won't hear
prerogative.
you. They won't be on here and hear us.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, but social media is not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to continue to grow. One big thing that I think we're going to see is, as cable TV has gone down and down and down, social media users have gone up and up and up. And so, where advertisers and marketers and businesses used to use, TV commercials and cable ads and stuff like that, that is all, I believe, going to start decreasing, and you're going to see more and more marketing and advertising on social media, because that's where people are, and you've got to advertise where the people are. Now, they're still streaming and stuff like that, but I think social media is going to continue to grow. I think you're going to see more and more users. I mean, the kids who are coming up today, social media wasn't a big part of my life until my 20s, like probably mid 20s or so. But kids today, I mean, they're introduced to it from day one, and they're getting it earlier and earlier. And so that's just where people are going to be, and that's where marketers are going to need to be, is on social media. I think another thing that we're going to start seeing more and more is the user generated content. So this is, brands are not always hiring the professional videographer and photographer to create content for them. They're calling a micro influencer. So someone who's got, a decent following, especially if it's local, and they're going to get them to create a video that influencers followers like that type of content. They're going to apply it to a business, and we're going to start seeing more of that. It's more of that realism. It's not as much curated content. Now, you're still going to see some curated content, and there's some fabulous work that is out there. There's some amazing creatives that you can see on social media. But I think businesses are going to continue to rely on influencers, especially micro influencers and other people, for that user generated content, because a lot of times you're getting more engagement with that because it shows the authenticity. It's not, people don't always want to see a video that they could never create. Sometimes they want to see content that they can recreate themselves. So I definitely think we're going to continue to see that more and more. video video is for sure not going anywhere. Video is everywhere. TikTok really made sure of that, and then Instagram with reels, and then on Facebook you can do reels as well. Videos can going to continue to be around, and I think we're going to continue to see both short form, which I consider to be like 10 seconds or less, and then more long form. I mean, there's a lot of videos that I watch in my personal time that are, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes long, and you start getting into YouTube and you've got like 30+ minute videos, and people like all of them. So I think we're going to continue to see different forms of video as well.
Well, that's good to know because I feel like there is some moments, where it needs to be a longer version of,
Mm-hmm.
especially on the education front, or you're trying to how to do something like you need a little bit more.
Yes.
But the point is we've got to create the small versions and grow from there because we got to show up where people are. So for our
Yes.
marketers, have fun with it. There's so much that we can do. I have just been editing the little video clips that I make at my son's basketball game. I always do it, but I wasn't like sharing it. And I was like, I can do this for the team, and just
Yes.
share it. And then they'll have it for, it will have my son in it, or I'm not posting it, but I can put other people in there too. So
Right.
but I like the process of learning how to edit the videos, right? And
Mm-hmm.
with a personal mindset versus a business mindset of
Mm-hmm.
a serving, giving to others versus your own consumption. So there was some pieces on that I'm teaching myself and learning as I go too. And so I just encourage people to do that. You are helping people, you're consulting them on social media. You are, of course, creating your own social media and so much background there to be able to help people. So I love your strategy, though. I sat with you and I felt like, what was it, 20 minutes or so? I'm like, I have
Mm-hmm.
not thought about that way before. Like, yes. And so, I hope people will reach out to you and definitely share your passion for social media. You are in Tuscaloosa, but of course, willing to work with people around the United States and beyond. I don't know about how far beyond, but definitely willing to work with others. Um, it's not just industry. So we're industry here, but Allison, you've worked with all kinds of different local entrepreneurs. I know
Mm-hmm.
that's part of your heart to helped women entrepreneurs as well. So y'all, if y'all are in need or just want to talk to somebody who like loves social media as much as I do, we have a new one that is inspiring us, Allison Smith, y'all. Allison, can I do a little rapid fire with you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. What is your favorite book?
Oh, Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers.
Oh my gosh. She's bringing out the
Such,
hot one, y'all.
yeah,
Wow. One of the best books.
yeah.
I will second that. The music, what do you jam to?
Oh, music is hard. So I also work with a DJ company, so I listen to a lot of music all the time. My go-to, just that makes me happy all the time, is Creedence Clearwater Revival. I'm an old soul at heart, and I love like 70s rock, that kind of vibe. It just makes me happy.
Yes. Shout out to RTR, our
Yes.
DJs in the house. Okay. And then what is the best advice you've ever received? I've been saying seen all day today. I don't know why I want to show y'all this advice. But what is the best advice you've ever received?
Oh, I've been really blessed with some amazing people who have poured into me over the years. That's a hard question. Um, Probably the best advice that I've ever received is from one of my closest friends, and they tell me this all the time. It says, just don't overthink, be yourself. I have a tendency to overthink everything. I think that a lot of us women do, and they tell me that all the time. Don't overthink, just be you, and it'll all work out.
That's right, because you're awesome and we love your passion. Now, if you could tell a young person getting into marketing, if you could give them some advice, what would you say?
It's another. These are such good questions. Um, My advice would be to try out everything. There's so many different things you can do with marketing, and the skills and stuff. Like it's forever changing, it's forever evolving, which makes it really fun. But like how you were talking about, practicing editing those videos both from a business perspective and a personal perspective, like try everything. Like try editing videos, try editing pictures, just take content wherever you go, even if it seems silly. Just try everything and really gain those skills and find where you kind of want to focus. Some people do a little bit of everything as a marketer. Some people focus on like short form video, and that's what they're really good at. Some people focus more on like caption writing and stuff if you're really into writing, but try a little bit of everything and at least have a good base knowledge of all of those skills so that you can help your client, whatever industry you end up in. Just try it all and have that base knowledge for yourself.
I love that. And, I love it because we also don't have to pigeonhole ourselves into one career, one, gift or talent. We can do so many different things. I love personal branding, partly because I had
Mm-hmm.
to do it and I wasn't a graphic designer. So I used my face, and like what I was
Mm-hmm.
doing. And so it's kind of fun to look back and see the power of actually having a plan around personal branding versus what
Mm-hmm.
I did in the beginning. So, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, Allison, what's the best way for them to do that?
Best way is you can find me on social media on Instagram and Facebook at Allison Olivia Social. You can also visit my brand new website, AllisonOliviaSocial.com. You can connect with me any of those places. Would love to chat with you about social media marketing, your business, all the things.
Awesome. I love it. And Becca will love the reference to all the things. She is our chief of staff and she does all the things. So I just made me think of you again, Becca. Y'all share this episode with your favorite marketer, somebody who, loves social media. I tell you, I've had several people come into my life over the last, year, and just that reminder that people are out there like me that love social media, and that gives me energy and passion to continue what I'm doing. So share this episode, and until next time, be empowering.